The title of my action research is The Effects of Middle School Ability Grouping or Lack thereof. Will a school's choice and grouping affect a child's ability to enter a competitive high school? Take a look at the following video as this event has inspired the topic. It's the first day of 8th grade and Jackie just walked into her math class. Even though she scored a level 3 on her Florida State math assessment and is considered on level, she has been placed in the 8th grade advanced math. Let's fast forward 4 months for the school choice application period. Jackie and her childhood friend, Jose, travel to the School Choice Expo with their parents. They are both hoping for admittance to the same high school, although they don't go to the same schools now. While reading through the Collegiate Academy's prerequisites, Jackie notices that the Academy will only consider her if she has completed Algebra 1 in 8th grade. She looks at Jose to break the news to him. She knew he scored a level 3 in 7th grade too. However, Jose tells her that he is currently taking Algebra 1. Jackie and her parents made an appointment with the counselor to see if anything can be done to save Jackie's chances for getting into the Collegiate Academy. They also want to know why someone with a level 3 at one school can be admitted into Algebra 1, but not at this school. The research questions that will help in the quest for answers are: what are the effects of ability grouping in middle school? What laws in the state of Florida, if any, require middle schools to offer classes by ability groups: intensive, regular, advanced? Will high schools still admit incoming freshmen to competitive programs on a case-by-case basis if not all requirements are met? For the literature review, I reviewed Robert E. Slavin's work titled Ability Grouping in the Middle Grades: Achievement Effectiveness and Alternatives. There is no significant difference in student performance at the middle school level in neither ability nor heterogeneous groups. In addition, Only the Names Have Been Changed, Ability Grouping Revisited is a work by Joe Worthy. Overall, the study focuses on the stigmas placed on students in middle school solely on the leveled classes they are assigned to. Lastly, reframing class scheduling: 7 school counselor benefits, challenges, considerations, and recommendations is where Lisa Wines gives us the guidance counselor's position and describes how they use many data sources for student placement such as grades, test scores, attendance records, and discipline records, and then describes the difficulties that sometimes arise in scheduling. This research will be a formative study comparing the intricacies of ability grouping, whether used or not, and the outcome of whether or not students have met minimal qualifications to apply for competitive high school programs. For our data collection, survey data is collected from middle schools to find out how students are placed into classes and what classes are offered throughout their years there. Interviews are conducted with admissions personnel of competitive high school programs. What are the extra requirements, and are there case-by-case instances for which students may be admitted? Quantitative and qualitative data regarding how ability grouping affects middle schoolers will be gathered from peer-reviewed articles on the topic in order to set a precedence for the procedure. The data collected included both qualitative and quantitative pieces. Note the table. The answer of yes/no is qualitative, but the tabulation of the results gives it a quantitative aspect. The chart displays quantitative data and also displays as an easy-to-see comparison of levels and categories. The overall goal of the study is to determine if middle school placement by personnel could affect a student's chances to gain admittance to a competitive high school program. The force field analysis includes both driving and restraining forces. It appears that all barriers to success are out of the control of this study. In the search for answers about how students can be affected by ability grouping and the possible hindrance of admittance to desired high school programs, This paper brings together topics that paint a picture about how students and parents need to be aware of options and proposed boundaries. Parents need to be informed of the guidelines the school has in place for accelerated programs in order to make educated choices for their child's education. Going through the steps of the action research process was a great learning experience, especially when it comes to using research questions to narrow the scope of what the overall goal is. Being a secondary math teacher, I am familiar with a lot of the vocabulary and requirements for the process of research and experiments, and I think this made it easier to focus on some of the other aspects of the action research plan I was not familiar with, such as the literature review. Validity and reliability are pieces that people always need to be skeptical about. Much like statistics being spat out without knowing the origins behind them, people need to be wary of research if they don't know the background. A simple example of reliability is a teacher observation conducted the day before winter break. How reliable are the results when compared to 3 weeks prior? Reliability means the findings would hold up when timing and settings were altered. In the teacher observation example, my guess is the results from that particular day would be quite skewed. Validity, on the other hand, means that the tools used to measure the situation are appropriate and the conclusions drawn from results are applied correctly. Back to the teacher observation example, would the conclusion of how effective a teacher is be valid if the tool used was a student poll? The answer for that is no. Therefore, when combing through research, don't just judge the results, judge the process too.